I remember when I was 14 years old, my dad took me one day to his office and I was saying like, he go through this day and day for us. So where's my contribution? Growth never ever come from easy. Growth come from hardship. So life is a cycle. You're gonna be happy, you're gonna be sad, you're gonna be frustrated. You need to accept the cycle. You have two options. Either you sacrifice who you are today for who you're gonna be tomorrow, or you sacrifice who you're gonna be tomorrow for who you are today.
What is the high performance mindset?
In my opinion, the high performance mindset is...
Mahmoud Awalmi is the Chief Financial Officer at SOM Bank. In this episode, he tells us about the art of storytelling through numbers. We spoke about how people have different mindsets and how they look at a problem influences how they deal with it. We also spoke about the importance of having a mentor and, more importantly, having the right mentor for the goal you want to achieve. This episode is packed with so much gems. Do not miss out on this one. Alright, before we kick off with today's episode, if you can do me a small favor and subscribe to this channel, I'll truly appreciate it and it'll help me bring you more and more high performers to this show. This is the High Performance Mindset and today's guest is Mahmoud Awalmi. Enjoy this episode.
Sheikh Mahmoud, welcome to HPM.
Thank you, Brother Hisham. I'm really glad to be here.
It's an honor to have you here. You're the Chief Financial Officer for SOM Bank. On your LinkedIn, it says you tell a story of numbers. What do you mean by that?
Well, as you know, people consider people in the financial sectors, especially finance and accounting, they are just boring people, just stating the facts. Are you making profit or are you not making profit? What is their transactions that you've done, the volume, your performance, and just saying those things as facts. And that's where you start. But when you tell the story of numbers, you walk with the drives. You bring those numbers to life to understand why you are here. What make this happen? What is the drivers? Is it how every people believe that the first way is cost saving aspect? And the more generic aspect of cost saving, people are gonna go staff cutting, So that's why when you see a big crisis happening, first thing people goes to staff cutting. That is the easiest cost that you could figure out and say, okay, if I drop this how much I'm gonna save in the year. But when you go tell a story of the numbers, you will understand the drives. Is it the financial drives? Like, you're not selling enough? Like the cost of goods is high? Is it the non-financial drive? You're not treating your staff well. You're not making your staff first because your team is who gonna meet with your client. So if you didn't treat them well, your client gonna get the same treatment, right? You cannot be present in everywhere. So those is the area that you can understand when you tell the story of numbers.
Were you always into numbers, like since you were a child?
Well, I might say no, actually. I was good in math in general, but I got in numbers while I was starting working in my early days. I used to do part-time jobs, you gotta make money to buy your stuff and things, When you ask the family, sometimes the family will tell you, we're not gonna buy you that. So you say, well, I want this stuff. What can I do? So you need to be figuring out solutions for your challenge. So at that aspect, I realized that being, knowing, understanding the numbers and understanding how this setup is the backbone of any business. So that was where my journey started. In the way I picked up more focus certification as in the ACCA, the Charter Accounting. And that was a journey of 3-4 years because I was doing it as a part-time while I was working. And through that journey, I understand that while I was really in love with numbers and this is my space, It's because is understanding behind the curtains what make things tick. Like sometimes generally people gonna focus, if we make more sales, we're gonna make more profit, for example. But sometimes that's not the case. If you make more sales but your margin is low, then you need to make really a lot of number of sales. And if you didn't reach that volume, you will not gonna make that much income, right? So it's just what value you're creating. Now, when you understand the value with the storytelling part of numbers, that's gonna change the game totally. So the game will be like, okay, it's not about how much I'm setting the price for, it's not about how much the cost is what is the value I'm giving my customer, what is the value I'm getting from these transactions, what the value I'm giving my staff. So understanding that breakdown, it will make your business in another level.
And as a child, you came from a small family, a big family?
Oh, as we're Somalis, we don't have something called small family. That's something very rare. If you meet Somali with small family, well, actually, I came with a big family.
MashaAllah.
We are 17 siblings.
MashaAllah. Okay.
And so my father have 2 wives. So I have 2 moms. A blessing to being around 2 countries. So here, UAE and Somalia. So we had literally a big number of siblings, to be honest.
Did that influence you to, at an early age, to maybe to try and be independent, or?
Well, I would say yes, because I can say, like, I remember when I was 14 years old, my dad took me one day to his office, his work. So he used to work in Ministry of Agriculture in Al Ain. So I went with him to his work. So I saw Dad working and being busy, and then you have your managers and people telling you do this, do that, and push you around, right? So I saw that going through all of that. And then I was just looking to that scene, and I was saying, like, Dad go through this to generate that money in the end of month that we get, that people call salary. And he go through this day in, day out for us. So where's my contribution?
At 14, you felt that?
Yeah. So from that aspect, I start pushing things that I need to my side. What can I do as part-time, small things?
How old are you when
here and
you
there.
first started working?
Well, I think was 14. Small stuff, not big stuff.
So around the same time,
Yeah.
you
Like,
took action.
I feel when my dad took me to his workspace, that made something tick in me at that age.
Okay.
And I feel like sometimes when I look back, I start laugh because some of the thoughts that I had since I was 14 years old, I still have it today. So it's really interesting. And one of the main things is the responsibility. So I used to always feel I'm responsible of my younger siblings, of my family. Whenever we have to do something, I need to contribute. So
What do you feel you're getting out of it?
Okay, that's good. I feel one of my core value through my journey, I think 2019, done a course and was about leadership. And that made me connect with my core value. So one of my main core value is service for others. I realized that is one of my calling in this life. And while helping my family, my siblings, friends, people I know, colleagues, that's always make me feel like I achieved something. I support someone. When you go through a struggle and life is challenge and you need to go through the hard way through things, I'm not going to say this journey was easy. This journey was very tough and very hard because a lot of responsibility with the family, big families, and year on year things was getting more expensive, education, hospitals and all of that. So when you look at that aspect, then you see that struggle is getting higher and higher.
You have to keep leveling up.
Yeah, you have to keep leveling up. And you see, when you go through this journey, so when I started, I was alone. And you see, it's very tough because you need to cover certain amount and you don't have it. So the question is, how? You jump here, you do part-time here, you try to figure out how you're going to cover your responsibility, right? And through the journey, you learn that actually your life become much easier while you're supporting the rest. And I don't know how to say this, but although I've been through tough times, that literally, when you start work and you get in your salary paycheck and you're happy, sometimes I used to cover paycheck to paycheck for family responsibilities. And the third paycheck is where I cover my loans that I took from my circle at that time, right? But through all of those struggles, I don't know, I feel like Allah put a blessing on you, because you're supporting your family, you're taking care of others. There is that saying in Arabic, من كان في عون أخيه كان الله في عونه. So when you are supporting your brothers, Allah will support you. So forget brothers, those are families, siblings, mom and dad. So you see, things are tough in outside, but inside, when you are going through it, is literally like a blessing.
You felt like the more you are contributing, the more blessings are coming your way.
Yeah. So the blessings came in different ways. So one blessings came through the circle, the quality of people that I found through my journey. Another blessings came through the tawfiq. When you think, okay, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? And you sit and you start thinking, like, I'm going to do this one. No, I'm going to do this one. And then in the end, you just jump on what you feel is more aligned with you. And then later on, you see, you choose
the
right way, and it was not one time, two time, three time, sometimes something bad. It looks from outside, but when you go through it, you see, whoa, this is really what I wanted to get that skill. Is a very interesting.
But that's a. I think that's a mindset. Like, that's a way of thinking. Everybody had good experiences. Everybody had challenging experiences, right? But it's up to the person, up to the individual, to decide that everything that I've been through is adding up and is helping me become better. Yes. Now, I think that's a very strong mindset. Some people will look like, no, whenever I went through a challenge, that was a setback. They look at it in a negative way. But I think the best way to look at it is, I wouldn't be the person I am right now without going through that hardship. And there is no way you can pay for that lesson. You have to sweat it out. You have to get scarred. You have to feel the pain to get that lesson.
Exactly.
To understand it.
Exactly. It's about perspective while you're going through things. I would like, you remind me of one of the important things that I done a few years back, and that was thanks to my friend Sheikh Abdul Rahman. So, we all say we're gonna go for the financial freedom. So Sheikh Abdul Rahman asked me a question. He told me, Mahmoud, how many people you have in your circle today did achieve the financial freedom?
Good question.
So I sat back and I said, whoa, that's one heavy question. So thought of it for a second, and then I realized I know a lot of well set off individuals that reach financial freedom in my circle. And some of them are literally like millionaires. So I said, well, I do have a lot of people actually. So he asked me a very simple question. If you go in there, did you sit with those people and ask them how did they reach there? So
It sounds it sounds like a no-brainer,
exactly.
but none of us do that.
Exactly. So then when he said that, I just remembered something. In education background, when we were in our childhood, what the best thing that our parents do? Send you to school.
School.
Why? To study and get educated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you finish school, you go to uni. Why?
To get the job.
Yes, to get a job. And then you want to drive. You don't have a license. Where you go?
The driving school.
Driving school. To get what?
License.
Your license. Okay, so it's very simple to add this. You want to be rich. Where you go?
To rich people.
So when he told me that, I said, well, this really makes sense. And it's the obvious. That
It's obvious. It's a lot of us don't make it.
yeah.
Like, don't do it that way. Like, we would go and ask business advice from someone who's never opened a business
Mm-hmm.
or opened a business and struggling with that business,
Exactly.
you know, rather than asking a person who has a successful business or multiple successful businesses. And obviously that guy did not get it right the first time.
Exactly.
And if you think that is, then you need to watch this show a lot more.
Exactly.
so you can get the
Exactly.
reality check from everybody. You know, nobody got it right the first time.
Yeah. Actually, building on that, I met with almost, I think, around 20, 30 people, individuals that they have their businesses or they done like they inherited from their parents. So when I sat with them, those 20 people to 30 people, majority, they don't know each other. But when they was talking about their story, you
Yes.
see there is the high point and the low point is almost exactly the same.
Interesting.
So then I moved forward and started to categorize them. And then I looked to my circle and I started to categorize people. So what I realized was that you hear this, like I think was a quote, it says 97% of people have the employee mindset, where 30% of people have the mindset of businesses of...
3%, you
Yeah,
mean?
3%. 3% of people have that mindset. So I was just more interested in what is that mindset? Okay, I understand that, but what does that mean in the technical aspect, right? So what I understood is the people are two types, type A and type B. That's how I put the categories. So type A, they are ready to do anything to achieve their goal. You're going to ask them, hey, let's climb this mountain. The answer they will give you, okay, from this side, or we go from here. Which way? Let's try this one, right? So they are, first response is how to do it, from which side, when, and attack, action. And the other type of people are type B. So type B are the people that when you ask them the same question, first response is excuse. So they will tell you, oh, this mountain, bro, is hot. This mountain is huge. This mountain, this road is closed. That road is closed. The first thing they see,
Every way that it wouldn't work out.
yes. So that's actually, it's a mindset, right? That is what differentiates both. All of those people I met, they were type A. Action oriented. They don't focus on how much knowledge they have. They will tell you, listen, if I keep this money on a side, I will use it as expense, right? Shopping, traveling, whatever. So it's gonna go. It's gonna go. So if I spend it on this idea,
To appreciate.
yeah, or it will go. So both sides will go. But this side, I will learn valuable lessons. For the next time when I do something, it will make money. Right? So people forget that you need to succeed one time. Not more. One time. You hit it right.
They can build on it.
Yeah. So I feel the biggest challenge is the social media nowadays. We consume a lot of social media. And in social media, we forget what people post there is not real. Like
In which sense?
majority, if you could look at Instagram, pictures, your friend going to some places, people don't post their normal life, right? They post something unique.
Just the highlight.
Thank you. The highlight. So sometimes if you build your reality on that highlight, you will have a problem because you think good, great. Oh, I'm in Kenya today. Tomorrow I'm in Dubai. After tomorrow I'm in Spain. After tomorrow, and I'm sending these pictures. And this friend that was doing that, you don't know. Maybe he went to Spain last year, and this picture he collected, and he's just posting there.
So, a lot of people post. A lot of people post stories. They already left.
Yeah.
But they're still posting that they're there.
Exactly. So sometimes that is the challenge, and other people looking at that is happening now, and they build their life on it. You know. So I feel like people are having this right that my life should be great all the time, and the cycle of life is not.
And they're not comfortable with their life being normal.
Exactly. So life is a cycle. You're going to be happy. You're going to be sad. You're going to be frustrated. You know, it's a cycle. You need to accept the cycle. You know, sometimes myself, I'm still going through those challenges, you know, because we're human. So when you go through this, sometimes you're happy. That is the easiest part. But when you go sad, you say, why I'm sad? Why it's me? And then after you come out of it, you say, okay, great. Now I'm happy again. Few months, you're down again. You know, it's a cycle. You need to accept it, you know. The acceptance make you understand that this is the cycle of human. You just need to be in content with your life. Why is what this guy is doing is not happening to me? Well, you're doing something else and this person is doing something else. You both have a different path. Maybe you will this person succeed and being successful in his early 20s. This person's going to be successful in his late 30s, right? We all have our journey, but if we don't believe in our journey, that is the biggest challenge. If we start to look into as they say the quote, the grass is greener the other side, right? So you'll be looking at, but you don't know what the other side challenges.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times we, instead of us saying, you know, how come this person made it earlier or, you know, got his stuff sorted earlier, I think we should always, of course, like this goes out to myself and to everyone else, that we should focus on what is something I can improve, and just focus on that. And until you finish doing all of your improvements, don't talk about anyone else.
And that's great. At the same concept, you know, there is a good concept. Sometimes we have this concept of self-development that is too much there in the like in the social media, and everybody are pushing for it. But if we say as Muslims, we have that in very long time. It's just, are we understanding it? Right? There is that verse in Quran says, إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. Allah will never change the people unless they change themselves. So you are a creature of habits. The habits that you are doing give you
the outcome you get.
The outcome you get today. So you just need to ask that person, hello, what is the habit that you are doing that I'm not doing? I'm happy for you that you are achieving. and doing all these great things. I want to. So can you tell me? Then you check yourself what the habit you are doing and what you're not doing. So we have, I would say this go back to the mindset of growth mindset and fixed mindset, right? So sometimes the fixed mindset don't like change at all. And they see they are perfect the way they are. If you think you're perfect the way you are, then that's a big problem there, because it's a fixed mindset approach. If you are thinking that, okay, I can learn more, I'm a student, I got a lot of things to learn, then you have the growth mindset aspect. So what is different between both? If you sit with the fixed mindset and you tell them there's something wrong with what you did in the approach, they will take it personally. It's like you're talking about them, not what they done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you go for the growth mindset and you tell them, hey, bro, you did this, they will listen. Okay, good. Something else I learned. The main concept of that, the difference is the perspective. We might do the same action, but we'll get totally different emotion built on it. Right? So sometimes when we hear something or hear a quote or someone tell us something, like for example, someone will tell you, if you sacrifice who you are today, you have two options. Either you sacrifice who you are today for who you're going to be tomorrow, or you sacrifice who you're going to be tomorrow for who you are today. So now people going to be in four categories. First, they'll say, oh, I heard this before. Right? Oh, I know this. Right? So now, the fixed mindset will try to focus on that aspect, for example. Now you have the growth mindset. He will ask, what do you mean? You either sacrifice who you are today for who you're going to be tomorrow, or you sacrifice who you're going to be tomorrow for who you are today. So what that mean exactly as an action steps, right? So when you break it down and you tell this person, what does it mean is either you work hard today, like for example, you're sitting for exam and your friends are calling you to go out for a holiday, travel, or go watch a movie, for example, right? And you say, sorry guys, I'm busy doing this exam. Why? Because I'm gonna gain this, right? So if you didn't go, you sacrifice who you are today. The fun, the going out with your friends. If you go, you sacrifice who you're gonna be tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. That person that has certificate that he was looking for and achieved one of his main goals, right? So that is, what does it mean? Now, there's another level of knowing. So in my perspective, knowing have 4 levels. Number 1, you heard it. Number 2, you understand it. What does it mean? Mm-hmm. Number 3, you do it. When you do something, you have the emotional component attached to the knowledge that you have. And that is what differentiates between people who did something and people who didn't do it.
What do you mean by the emotional component part?
Okay. As people, we might understand something. We have a lot of knowledge, by the way. We don't apply 5% of what you know.
True.
Just to let you know. And that, the main reason is we don't have the emotional component connecting to that aspect. So when you do something, when you hear something, or your friends are going through something, or you heard something bad, you might feel bad, but you don't know exactly how that feels. But if you go through something really bad, and your friend tell you, no, bro, relax, it's okay. You say, no, it's not okay. You're really upset, for example, right? Why? Because the emotional component. And us as human, things don't print on us unless we have that emotional component. That is another level of learning, for example. So when you do something, if it's hard, if it's tough, whatever, you will have that emotional component. You will understand how does it feel of doing that thing, right? Now, in this level, it's another level of knowing. Then you have the 4th level, explaining it and teaching it to someone. When you sit with your circle, guys, I tried something new. I did this. This is how I did it. This is how I felt, and through all the process. And just being honest, sharing that to people it will sound totally different while you are doing it. While you're sharing, you will see, oh, I didn't connect those before. And the other side is because we are different people with different backgrounds, so we have different perspective. So you will hear questions from your circle of stuff that you never thought of. So your level of learning and knowing will be even deeper, right? So that's fourth level. It's a very interesting journey. In my aspect, I think 3 years ago, I started taking some quotes and trying to understand it. Okay, this is what it mean. I heard it. Okay, I understand it. I know what does it mean. Let me try to apply it. After applying it, how do I feel? Oh, interesting. And then when I share it with my circle, I get their feedback. Oh, I didn't thought of that. I didn't thought of that. I didn't thought of that. So that make you understand things in totally different aspects. Like for example, when someone tells you like, why you are positive, why you are all the time optimistic, why? And then I ask a question, what do you want me to be? A pessimist? And then I tell them there is a lot of research being done on when you are positive and you want to do something, you have higher percentage than you are pessimist. So very simple question. I will give you a very simple answer. It will make me achieve that.
It will enhance your performance.
Yeah, it will enhance my performance. So they said, And then I said, okay, as Muslims, we have another level of it actually, that sometimes people forget. I have a friend, he's a life coach. So since he started this journey, he started connecting the self-development world to the Islamic world, right? So as a Muslims, what we have is, there is Hadith Qudsi. It says, Allah says, أنا عند ظن عبدي بي فليظن عبدي ما شاء. I'm where my abd think of me. So let him think of whatever. That's a very important thing to understand. So if you think good, what you will get?
Good.
If you think bad, what you'll get?
Bad.
So again, why should I be pessimist? Right?
Exactly.
And is those drivers, I think, helped me a lot in my life. Like you said earlier, when you are in the bad time and challenging, and tough, and you think like, oh, I cannot do this, I need to quit. And what is the perspective you're thinking to go through it? The perspective that you think of it is that you understand that this way of you doing things, if you connect it to your core values, your religion, you will understand that there is another hadith that says, if we know what Allah writes for us in the aqdar, in the destiny, we wouldn't change a thing. Because Allah is the merciful and He gives us the best path for us to achieve what we want. So when you know that, you understand what you're going through now, this is for your betterness.
Yeah.
And there is no better way than this. Done. But as much as you go far from that path is when you have all of those challenges.
And you don't have trust.
Yes. And it's always is with your level of awareness. I would say it's two. Level of awareness and circle.
And faith.
Yeah, and faith. Exactly. So you connect those.
Circle, why?
Okay. Tell me who's your friends, I tell you who you are. Tell me how much your friends earn, I tell you how much you earn. And the main concept of that is because your mind is like a sponge. You like it or not. When you associate yourself with certain circle for a very long time, you will get attached. Now, if I connect that to our religion aspects, is حامل المسك ونافخ الكير. There is a hadith of a prophet that says, so there is someone who have a perfume, and there is someone that who have this the coal. So this coal is black, is dark. It does not smell good. It gives you this smell later on, right?
Stains your clothes.
Yeah, stains your clothes, right? So they told you the good friend is like the perfume holder. That either he give you perfume and you start having the perfume, or either he give you the smell of perfume, so you smell good. This one, he's either gonna give you this dark, dirty thing that will gonna contaminate your thoughts, your mind, way of doing things, will make you look of sin something normal and easy, right? So who you are choosing. So people translate this hadith on the good and bad friends, right? No, there is actually a more deeper level if you look at it, right? The more deeper level is your thoughts. This guy gonna give you perfume, good perfume, right? Good thoughts. So what you have, either you apply his thought or you start thinking for yourself and get better thoughts. This guy gonna give you bad thoughts.
And it all goes down to what you guys usually discuss.
Exactly. So that is the importance of your circle. What is the conversation that you have? Like sometimes you have this circle, let's call it time wasting or fun.
Yeah.
Right? They just joke, talk, nothing important, right? Service level. And then you have those people that when you sit with them, the other circle, they tell me how you feel. Tell me how you're doing. Are you bringing your 5? What did you improve than last time I saw you? Where you're heading, right? How's your mindset? Are you going through some challenge, right? So they are more to the core of things, you know? Let's call it the deep conversations. I call it the search of the soul or the search of the self. Who you are, what you want, where's your destination. You know, sometimes you go through life, you forget, and then you put yourself on the autopilot. And the autopilot is very dangerous because you start getting the herd mindset.
Yeah.
So there is no one in this world like you. You have your own mindset, way of doing things, right? So if you let that go and focus just to be with others and accept their thoughts, and you think that's more important, then you will see that you didn't achieve a lot of things that you
wanted to achieve.
20, 30 years when you sit alone, you look back and you say, oh, I didn't do that, right? So the concept is just to enjoy the life. Have the people that add value to you, whatever that means to you. But people in your circle, they should add in value to you, and you add in value to them. Is not one-way stream. Huh? That will be just your getting. Giving is the first way of giving. You know, giving is the first way of getting. So having those on a structure, it will always help you to grow. And because one of my core value is, as I said, as service for others, I feel great when I'm helping someone else going through a challenge. Because somehow it reminds me when I was, after I finished high school, and you know, when you start the journey of what I'm going to do, what I'm going to study, and all of that space, and you see there is no one around you to guide you, right? So for example, as being Somali in our community, after I finished high school, and especially being in Al Ain, I didn't know who to turn to for guidance, what I'm going to do in the future, or what I'm going to study, where the other community have that more structured, right? For example, I was hanging a lot with our friends from Sudan, Egypt. They have the community club where their role models or experts in the different field come on weekly aspects, meet or a monthly aspect. And then they have workshops on jobs, opportunity, what do you want to specialize on, right? So I used to go to those events and I was looking and saying, this is very interesting. Why as a community we don't have that, right? So at that space, I think when I was 18, I had this thought is, that was a very struggle for destination. Where I'm gonna go? What is my direction? What does success mean to me? Right? And as much as I asked around, we are all 18. You might have a better answer here because this person is being guided, but that was, let's say, a space I felt like I was a bit lost. So I kind of promised myself something at that stage. I said, whenever I see someone through a challenge or a problem around me, I'm going to help. I'm going to support. Because I remember that person that I was that age. And that's connected to who I am as a person.
And after you started, after school, you started working, you went straight to uni or you started working? Or what happened there?
As you remember, the responsibility person. No, I start working actually. Start working in the first. I start working, that was placed in Abu Dhabi. It was a company, they got a contract from Abu Dhabi court of setting up, digitalizing the court files. I worked with them for, I think, a year, around that, or two. As that was what, 2018? No, sorry, 2008. 2008. So that was the first full-time job that I started. It was very interesting of seeing my thought process, working with having colleagues, That was the first journey. It's very interesting. People love to differentiate colleagues, friends, On that, I learned a very important thing. That was, you always need to be who you are, no matter what. I think, when I joined, people was working there for 1 year, 2 years before me. So the company used to give targets. So I used to always ace my targets, although I was the newbie. So, when you ace things, everybody's starting to ask you, hey, how you do this? Why you do this? And then when people come in the coffee break, they say, hey, we are here just to get paid. So just maintain certain level and that's it. And then I used to tell them, maybe that's good for you. For me, I want to achieve something. I'm reaching somewhere. So if I didn't see myself 100%, I feel like I don't need to be here. Right? So they used to always ask me, what is your techniques? How you're finishing fast? This normally should take this. You're acing it. How? So I used to have kind of 20 minutes for them after work, telling them, we are doing the same thing every day. So can you tell me what did you improve after the first month? What did you improve after the second month? Right? Because are you saying I can do this in this time and that's it? Khalas. I'm going to repeat it. So technically you didn't learn anything after you got used to that system, right? But if you trying to find a different way, every time you excel on something, you're always learning.
You're always learning.
Right? So my focus was need to be always to be learning. So the senior management at that company started to notice me. And then they said, okay, we need to cut some staff because the project is about to finish. So we have 1 year and we need to reduce the numbers. We don't have a lot of work done to do. So they did 3 rounds. People, they were just talking and saying, okay, they're going to remove people who joined last. So they're going to keep the seniors.
Yeah.
Because people that have been there 2 years, 3 years. So some people were feeling comfortable. And I was not worried. They told me, well, you're so much relaxed. Why? I told them, my work talk. I don't need to stress. So, and that was what happened. So the first round, I came out. Second round, came out. Third round, I passed. People was surprised. Some seniors, they had to go. So in the farewell, some of them approached me and saying, "How come you're here and we are the people who are leaving?" So I told them, like, I told you what I did. It's not like I hid it and I kept it for myself. I told you that when you are improving, no matter what happened in the economy, you're going to be there. Because I'm doing good for the business owner. I'm thinking for his benefit. He think that, right? Because I'm achieving.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mindset, I'm doing this for myself. Because this represents who I am. If I start underperform, and I say, okay, I'm going to underperform here, and I keep doing that for some time, I will underperform in other areas too.
True.
Because I create a habit of underperform. So that was my most worry part. So I used to push myself. So I told them, listen, this is a business transaction. You need to sit with the business owner. This is what they want. And this is what I want. If the both are in the same directions, great. If the both are not in the same directions, how can we do alignment? Right? And if that alignment cannot happen, then either I follow their way or I have to leave. That's the two options that I have. So that's what happened. After the third round, they started changing structure and things. So then I told them, I don't see myself here for the long run. And actually, you have 1 year to finish this project. So I feel that it's better for me to find another opportunity. So I'm just letting you know in advance. And actually, I have someone to replace me. He was one of the people that I used to, like, we became friends actually. But that guy was the learner, right? He was always pushing himself. I love this energy. So I said, even if I bring this guy, this management will love his energy.
Was he working already in the company or no, from outside?
Yeah. He was working before. He's been let out in the third round.
Okay.
Because the people who left was the best of the best.
Okay.
Right? So after I left, I told him, hey, I recommend this guy. Really good, hard worker, and learner. He just needs a bit of time. They said, okay, fine. We see you, so we take him. After I left that company, 4 years after that, they called me, I think, around 7 times in different occasions. And then every time they asked me, hey, are you free to come back? Or can you recommend someone? So I used to tell the guys, did that company call you guys? They said, no. I said, okay. Tell me why. Tell them they're still calling and ask me for someone or if I'm available. They said, okay, interesting. So I told them, you know, when you work someplace or be with some people, forget work, you need to add value, right? So people see you being there as a person. Yes, there is a lot of conflict might happen. There is a lot of unpleasant things will happen in life, and that's life. It is what it is. But at the same time, you need to have this positive vibe and to present who you are, no matter how you want to do it.
Nice. I want to talk about your shift from moving from here, Dubai, moving to Somalia. Did you have doubts in your head? I mean, you know, you're coming from Dubai, you know, the lifestyle and all of that. What were the mental challenges? Because every time as humans, before we take a leap and, you know, change our environment, change, you know, maybe more responsibilities, a lot of times people shy away from an opportunity of growth because of the sacrifices is attached to it.
Okay, that's a very great question, to be honest. Remember the quote that I shared with you earlier? You need to sacrifice who you are today for who you're going to be tomorrow, or you sacrifice who you're going to be tomorrow for who you are today. In life, you're always sacrificing something.
Always. It's either you're aware of it or you're not.
Exactly.
But it's always happening.
It's always happening.
It's always happening.
So, do you know it? That's great, because you're doing it. Well, you know it. You don't know it? That's bad. So, I remember at that time, I had a lot of doubts.
What was going through your head?
You know, that's the first is the environment. I'm gonna go to Somalia. I'm from there, but I'm born raised in UAE. I've been here all my life. So, what does that look like? I've been there a few times visiting family, but living there it will be a huge challenge. Different environment, different mindset, different culture.
Absolutely.
Right? So, those were the giant challenges that I had in the start. So, I start approaching my circle. People I see, they are high performance, right? And have that mindset for greatness. So, asking for advice. What do you guys think? I'm gonna be taking this. I know what I'm sacrificing. I'm sacrificing the lifestyle. I traveled to a few countries, and I can tell you this with 100% certainty. Dubai give you everything. It's comfortable. You can do your side business after work, right? You meet different people, different culture. Like, people don't understand how much Dubai is rich with that. I think they say 220 nationality live in Dubai, right?
Yeah, no surprise.
So when I moved back to Somalia, I saw that part, because everybody is like me, speaking the same language, same roots, same background, right? So the mix here in Dubai is really good for culture exchange and mindset, because you have someone living in US, relocated here, that US perspective, culture, way of doing things. Europe, Africa, Asia, right? So you have a lot of expertise coming sharing their culture, way of doing things, all of that in this city. So it's very rich with that. So for me, I was saying, okay, I'm going to sacrifice a lot of things. My circle, I built a lot of amazing circle, to be honest. Support group for us to achieve things from time to time. Through the leadership course I done 2018, first cohort that was led by a group called Leading. So that cohort became a family to me moving forward. So we facilitated the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and then we create a huge community that we meet on monthly or quarter aspects in the start to catch up and see where we are in life and how we are feeling, and literally how we are doing. You know, the most questions that people ask each other the first time they meet, or when they say, how you doing? But because people got this question so much around, they forgot that to answer this question. So when you ask someone, how you doing? They'll just say, what? Fine. They are in autopilot because they create a habit. Whoever asks them this question is fine.
They don't ask it the way Anas Bukhash asks.
Exactly. And how does that?
How are you really doing?
Exactly. So I didn't know about Anas Bukhash, but what we used to say is, how you really doing? Right? And we just have a coffee.
بصراحة كيف حالك?
Yeah, بصراحة كيف حالك? And then you see this person literally open up. One of the very interesting answer we got from people was, the main reason I don't share is because I don't think my personal life is important to the person who's listening. Because this person is out to have fun and I'm out to have fun. So why should I bother them with my problems? Right? But when you ask how you're really doing, and they open up and they see you're listening, with no judgment, of course, right? You will see people literally, their eyes glows because they didn't had that connections, because they thought people are not interested on how they're really doing. So through that journey, a lot of learning process and learning went through, and I started to hear people more. Right? There is a reason we have one mouth and two ears for us to listen more. Sometimes because I used to always to focus to do things while I'm aware, So there is this mechanism that you do. You think of yourself like you have a camera here, and this camera is just recording everything you're doing during the day. No judgment. It's just recording. And in the end of the day, you sit, you just reflect. So that make me very aware of things. And it's very tough, to be honest, because you see stuff that you don't want to see. Just let it pass. So through that awareness, I felt that I can answer a lot of things. But sometimes just while listening, you actually learning a lot of things and different way of doing the same thing actually.
What was the first community you joined?
Okay, the first community I joined was when I came to Dubai. I moved to Dubai 2009, started working here in a remittance company. And when I moved there 2010, a friend of mine invited me to the open day in his university. So I visited, and then they had the culture day. So I saw a Somali booth. I said, whoa, there's a Somali community there. Interesting. Let me see who they are. So I met them. That community was led by Brother Ibrahim Sheikh. That was around 2010. It's called Somali Youth Community. That was the first community I joined. And I think spent with them 3-4 years. Our main focus was to give back to the community. And we have a lot of youth that graduate universities, looking for opportunity, or graduate school, looking for universities. So we used to support.
To decide on which field they should major in.
Yeah. So what is the job opportunity they're looking for, what field they are looking for. And we used to have, let's say, a celebration for the 10th best students in all UAE.
Right.
We used to have an event that happened in our Independence Day, called of July. So we used to host it in Sharjah, the Qasr al-Thaqafi, the Palace of Culture. They have a huge stage, a theater. So we used to do it there. And we used to invite the consulate, the ambassador. And actually, we used to coordinate with them too. So
this motivates the students.
Yes. That was one of the best things, when you give back and you invite those 10 best performers, those are the high performers.
Mm.
And then you go through the stage, and then you see the ambassador or the consulate give them their gift, and the president. And then you see how they feel.
Yeah, they feel appreciated.
Yeah, they feel appreciated. So that was one of the aha moments that really just stuck there. As I told you, one of my core values is to give back and service for others. That was the first community. Then after that, we saw a huge gap between the social community and the professionals. As much as we grew in the social aspect, we see the professionals people are missing. So the professionals are the role model for the youth, for which sector, which field I should go in, right? Who I'm gonna follow their steps. So we saw a huge gap. And then, I think that was 2014, a friend of mine approached me and told me, hey, remember the conversation that you had? Actually, funny enough, it was Sheikh Abdurrahman. Again, he told me, hey, remember you told me you're looking for the professional to set something up? I said, yes. A friend of mine is working exactly on the same thing. Can I connect you guys? I said, oh, that would be great. So then he connected us. And that was Brother Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr was working on that project, I think 3-4 months prior to that. We had a conversation. We saw that is exactly what I was looking for and what he was going for. So we started the journey of SPN, Somali Professional Network, at that stage. our thought was, let's connect professionals in UAE aspect. And then wherever youth are looking for mentor or role model, we can connect. Or some of our friends that was coming from abroad looking for something, we could find someone in their field, give them better advice. That was our thought process.
That's amazing.
As you know, Dubai is an international hub. So people come from abroad a lot. So while we used to set one event in Dubai, one event in Abu Dhabi every month. So one event will be in Dubai this month, next month will be Abu Dhabi. That was the plan we was going on. We met a lot of people that was coming from abroad, that they really loved the idea. They adopted and took it back home. So from one country, we grew to be on 7 countries.
Oh.
So 7 countries, almost around 50,000 professionals in the duration of 6 years. So
I think it's always, I believe, like when you start something, no matter how small, but you start it for the right reasons, with the right intentions, then, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God blesses it, and very quickly it grows bigger than, the person could imagine themselves.
Exactly. We never imagined that. And then, like, having that community, it was really amazing. Like, we had 3 annual conferences, as I remember. One was in Australia, 2 was in US.
Any success stories?
Huge. A lot. Like, the thing is, when I relocated to Somalia, I got busy with work. So I had a huge gap at that time. But before, there's a lot of people that connected through this platform. And define success. That's the question, actually. What is success for you when you say success story?
Maybe a person didn't know what field they wanted to work in. Maybe they know their interests, but they don't know what will be a suitable job that will be aligned with their skills and interests.
Okay. From that aspect, then we have a lot of successful stories. Because that community mentor a lot of youth. Some of them got an opportunity and worked in great firms. Like, I remember, I always say this story. There was one of the youth who used to come to the event, that he met with an expert that was working in one of the big firm. Actually, he was working in Deloitte. So he sat with that expert, had a conversation, and talked with him. And that expert told him, if you are looking for Deloitte, this is what Deloitte value, this is what they're looking for, this is what the criteria for the sector that you are looking for. He was looking as a consultant, as he was an accounting background. So he followed the steps, and a few months later, he got an internship with Deloitte. So I used to say that at that time we used to have a small fee for the event that we do, because you have a dinner after we have the workshop. So we say just cover your dinner. So it was about 60 dirham. So I always used to like to start the story to say how a guy got a job in a big firm with paying 60 dirham. So everybody said, what? So that is one of the stories that I remember. I remember another story, people that got connected in that platform, set up their businesses. Now today, their businesses is worth a few $1 million.
Mashallah.
And that's just through connections. I feel people underestimate the power of network. As your network is your net worth. So I think that space taught me a lot of that. Of appreciation your network. Getting to know people. And doing stuff for sake of greater good. Like today you see a friend or a person is looking for opportunity in this sector. Through this platform, I create a lot of connections and network.
And it's something that I feel you're good at, and you've been investing in, and because you value it, you do it a lot, which is you network people.
Yes.
You connect people.
Yes.
You do that because you value it. Maybe sometimes you value it more than the person themselves, and then maybe later they see the value in it.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, we got to the end of this episode. Definitely, there's a lot to learn from you. But I want to ask you, from your opinion, what is the high performance mindset?
In my opinion, the high performance mindset is focusing on the process and make that is your journey. Create those habits and keep pushing. You're feeling good? Good. You're feeling bad? You keep pushing.
Stick to the process.
Stick to the process. It's very tough. It's very challenging, as we are human. And don't look for perfections. Perfection is the trap that your mind sets you in. When you're getting out from your comfort zone, you're sent to your subconscious an alert. It's a war time. So your subconscious saying, oh, who's going to win? You or me. Why? Because you're going to a new territory, and that is being named unsafe. So your brain is there to save you. So how can you change that language? Or how can you be the driver of your mind? So you're either the driver of your mind or the slave of your mind. So for me, high performance is you being the driver of your mind. It's going to be a very interesting journey. It's not going to be easy, but enjoy it. And growth never ever come from easy. Growth come from hardship. So if you want to grow, develop in your career, reach your goals, you need to go through hardship. So remember the process and where you're going. You want success? Success is a journey. Up and down. You want up? You need to go down. Just enjoy the process and have a circle. Because as human, there is an African prophecy says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Because no matter who you are, you're going to go down. So if you have your circle with you,
they'll put you along.
It will be easy. Carrying one person, if we are a group, it's easy. But if you are alone, who's going to carry you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing answer. Definitely love it, and I'm really grateful for you. Grateful to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Hisham. Really appreciate it.